Before we begin our video, a short note. We'll be glad if you like, comment, and share our content. We are the largest left-wing civic association in Slovakia, and we want to keep growing. New videos are published Fridays. If you like what we do, you can support us financially and become our members. More information is available on our website, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. How much human blood and how many victims does capitalism have on its hands? You've probably been told many times that capitalism is the only possible political and economic system in which we can live. Whenever a left-wing alternative is mentioned, many people immediately bring up the 100 million dead during the 70 years of authoritarian communism in the 20th century, citing Stalin's gulags or Mao's China. Capitalism is then presented as supposedly far more humane, since it allegedly didn't cause such massive loss of human life. In this video, we will set aside the fact that this argument is built on shaky ground. Authoritarian communism is by no means the only possible left-wing system for organizing society, despite what capitalist propaganda wants you to believe. Many libertarian and democratic socialist approaches, which are far less authoritarian than the communism of the past, have never been seriously tried. We've covered democratic socialism, the alternative embraced by the New Left, in other videos on our channel. Today, however, we won't talk about the victims of authoritarian communism, something you hear about all the time, but about the victims of global capitalism. Hunger. Mass death in a world of plenty. Let's start with the most basic human need: food. The world currently produces enough food to feed about 10 billion people, 2 billion more than the current population of 8 billion. Yet, according to the UN, 8 to 9 million people still die of hunger every year, and hundreds of millions are chronically malnourished. Why? Because capitalism systematically creates artificial scarcity where none needs to exist. Scarcity drives up prices, and higher prices mean higher profits. In today's capitalist agriculture and trade, food is not produced to feed people, it is produced for profit. And if leaving hundreds of millions to starve generates more profit than feeding them, then they starve and die. Just in this century alone, 9 million deaths times 23 years equals 207 million dead from hunger. That's already twice as many deaths as authoritarian communism caused in the entire 20th century. Now multiply that logic by the full 300 years of capitalism's existence. Do you also reach billions of deaths? Overeating and obesity, the other side of hunger. Since 1975, global obesity has nearly tripled. By 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults were overweight, of whom over 650 million were obese. Childhood obesity is skyrocketing as well. 39 million children under 5 years old were overweight or obese in 2020. Overeating-related health problems kill about 4 million people every year. That's nearly 100 million deaths so far this century. This isn't just personal choice. Food corporations deliberately design products to maximize consumption, not health. Many foods are engineered so that people never feel full, ensuring they eat more than they need. Add to that the stress and insecurity capitalism systematically generates, leading people to develop unhealthy eating habits, and you get a global obesity pandemic. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical companies profit from treating illness rather than preventing it. Water. Profit over survival. Another fundamental human need capitalism fails to meet is clean water. Today, 703 million people lack access to safe drinking water. Over 1,000 children under 5 die every day from waterborne diseases. That's more than 8 million dead children in this century alone. And yet capitalism can distribute oil across the globe in massive quantities without a problem, because oil generates profit, while water does not. Healthcare. A system built for profit, not for people. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the brutal logic of capitalist healthcare. Pharmaceutical companies don't stockpile masks, vaccines, or protective equipment in advance because that isn't profitable. They wait until a crisis hits us, when demand skyrockets, and then sell at inflated prices, mainly to rich countries. Poor countries were left waiting months or excluded entirely, costing millions of lives. This is not an exception, it's the rule. For centuries, millions have died unnecessarily because healthcare in capitalism is rationed by profit. The poor are denied care, while the rich overpay for it. Over 300 years, this means hundreds of millions, perhaps billions, of preventable deaths. Militarism, capitalism's bloodiest companion. In the 20th century alone, wars claimed over 230 million lives. Both world wars were fought primarily among capitalist powers. Capitalism cannot function without expansion, so wars are constantly waged for living space, to spread democracy, or to settle old grievances. And today, we live in the era of the highest risk of nuclear war in history. There are about 12,500 nuclear weapons on the planet. Just 100 of them could trigger a nuclear winter that wipes out most life on Earth. Yet billions are spent maintaining and expanding these arsenals, while children still die of hunger and thirst. Environmental destruction and climate collapse. Capitalism is equally ruthless toward the environment. Polluting rivers, building oil pipelines through nature reserves, clinging to fossil fuels, and mass-producing cars. These practices are all chosen because they are profitable, regardless of the human cost. Air and water pollution already kill over 8 million people every year, more than 180 million in this century so far. But climate change is the most terrifying consequence. Scientists have warned about the greenhouse effect for over 100 years. Yet instead of slowing down, capitalism has only accelerated the destruction. We are now heading toward catastrophic climate disruption. Failed harvests, rising seas, mass migrations of hundreds of millions, and the collapse of civilization itself. In 2024, the hottest year in recorded history, humanity also emitted more CO2 than ever before. Capitalism is not slowing down, it's speeding up. It is, quite literally, an efficient killer of life. Permanent stress. Capitalism's psychological toll beyond physical destruction. Capitalism kills through permanent stress and social breakdown. Job insecurity, the constant threat of poverty, the erosion of communities and family bonds, all these factors drive people into mental distress. According to the UN, workplace stress alone kills nearly 3 million people each year. That's 70 million deaths this century. Add hundreds of thousands of suicides annually, many linked to economic and social despair, and the number rises even higher. Today, nearly 1 billion people live with mental health disorders rooted in this system. The bigger picture. Beyond human victims, we haven't even touched on colonialism, slavery, child labor, industrial accidents, smoking, drug and alcohol abuse, or the deadly consequences of car-centered capitalist urban planning. Nor have we mentioned the billions of non-human lives destroyed every year, such as the 100 billion animals slaughtered annually for food, or the 1.6 trillion silkworms killed for silk production. Conclusion: a system of death. Even this incomplete list of horrors makes one thing clear: capitalism has killed billions of human beings and countless other living creatures. To defend capitalism is to defend global suicide. We in the New Left work toward ending capitalism and building a more functional way of organizing society. A better world is possible, but only if we fight for it. Before we end our video, a short note. We'll be glad if you like, comment, and share our content. We are the largest left-wing civic association in Slovakia, and we want to keep growing. New videos are published Fridays. If you like what we do, you can support us financially and become our members. More information is available on our website. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.